You all, the sister to the Umoren girl who died while seeking for job, has come out to debunk, the news that Akpabio, the Senate president, has a hand in her death. She went as far as saying that when her sister died, all of her organs are intact. So the question is, where is the allegation coming from? Where did they get, the story of, our organs was used by the Senate president and all of that? Where is that coming from? Since we are now hearing from the sister saying that, at the time that, Maureen died, all of our organs were intact. Before we delve right into the details of today's news, if this is your first time here or you have not subscribed to this channel, what are you doing? Please go ahead and subscribe, hit the like button, that we will encourage to keep giving you more reliable and authentic news. And also, YouTube is able to recommend this video to millions upon millions of YouTube viewers all around the world. Lastly, let's have your thoughts and opinions in the comments section below. The older sister of murdered Akwa Ibom job seeker Uduaghan Okoye has distanced Senate President Akpabio from her death, even as she declared unequivocally, "My sister's organs were intact during autopsy." Ifiok Ephraim Okoye made the clarifications addressing a press conference she addressed on Saturday in Uyo, the Akwa Ibom state capital. Uduaghan Okoye, it would be recalled, was gruesomely murdered on April 29, 2021 by Uduaghan Abbasi Frank Akpan after tricking her to his father's residence in Nog-Okot, Efok village, Uran local government area of the state, on the pretext of a job interview. He was arraigned before Akwa Ibom State High Court Uyo, found guilty of rape and murder and sentenced to death on August 4, 2022. Uduaghan's death, however, has once more become an issue following a recent Facebook Live broadcast by US-based activist and media personality Dr. Sandra C. Duru, during which she reported suspended Kogi Central Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan as accusing Senate President Akpabio of using Uduaghan's organs to save the life of his then-sick wife, Onoma Ekaiti Akpabio. We all heard about the story back in 2022, when this story happened. We all heard about it. In fact, the story went viral about, this gruesome murder that happened in Akwa Ibom State. And, there are lots of evidence that signifies that it was that young man, that was involved in the death of his, young lady, Umoren, that, was murdered at that time. So I don't know why they are now tying it to the Senate President, Akpabio, now. I don't know how it's connecting. Maybe because it was a governor as at the time. Who knows? But we all saw all of the story evolve. In fact, it was a friend, that made, Nigerians, that made Nigerians became aware of the story. Because, this said Umoren told her friend that, look, I'm going, for an interview. This is where I'm going to. She even went as far as sending the address to her friend, which was how netizens were able to trace the location, of where she went for the interview. And at the end of the day, the people of the community, they dug around the compound and they found, bones, skeleton within the compound, which means that that young man has been doing it for a long time. For them to have found, skeletons and, shallow grave within the compound, you could tell that he has been into that business for a long time. So I don't now know why they are trying to, link this to the Senate president. I don't know the correlation here, but this is according to Dr. Duru, who we have now found out is actually lying. I posted a video earlier disclosing how a journalist came out to say that Dr. Duru actually paid her to doctor her tape, where Natasha was talking about this organ harvesting of a thing, and how the sexual harassment allegation that she lied about is not sticking to Akpabio, so she's trying to use another thing to hold him down. Go and check that video out if you have not seen it or expect the video to come up. Moving on, guys. But all that is bandash, according to Fong Ephraim Okoye, who was flanked by the State Director of Public Prosecution, Mr. Monday Johnson Itin, and the State Coordinator of Legal Aid Council, Mr. Samuel Abdullahi, lawyer to the convicted Uduaghan Abbasi, as she addressed the press on Saturday. How can someone tell me, indeed the word, that my sister's organs were harvested? Did the person who accused another go and harvest my sister's organs after burial? She asked in a grief-stricken voice. After recounting how her sister died, she said, about her organs. Before burial, the police took the corpse to the University of Uyo Teaching Hospital, Uyo, for autopsy. 2 policemen and I were inside the room, and I witnessed the autopsy. All organs in her body were complete. On May 18, 2021, she was buried. Ms. Ufiok added, throughout the arrest, prosecution, and conviction of a murderer, Uduaghan never mentioned Akpabio. How can a senator who was not a witness accuse Akpabio as the person who harvested the organs of my sister? Responding to a question on if the family was considering prosecuting Senator Akpabio-Uduaghan for peddling false information, she replied, "We are considering the option." Corroborating Ifiok's story, State Director of Public Prosecution Friday Johnson Eaton said the prosecution called 10 witnesses. At the end, Uduaghan was convicted. It is therefore outrageous and a lie for anybody to infer or conclude that Senator Akpabio had a hand in the murder in the state, talk less of harvesting her organs. I want to call on appropriate authorities in the country to prosecute Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan for raising false alarm and information. Similarly, Samuel Abdullahi, who defended Uduaghan during his trial, joined in condemning Senator Akpabio-Uduaghan's allegation of organ harvesting. He dismissed it as a lie, saying that the person who alleged should be held responsible for the offense. Throughout the prosecution and conviction, the prosecutor and defendant never mentioned organ harvesting against Akpabio. The prosecution file is in public domain for anybody to access. We should not assume the issue, he noted. The lawyer added that a pathologist carried out an autopsy on the deceased, and the certified true copy of the report is in public domain, describing the allegation of organ harvesting as false and baseless. Let's have your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. Before we go, guys, let's take a look at some of the reactions we got online. The first comment comes from Sandra Anderson, who says, after suffering with HIV for 8 years, I finally came across African About Doctor. Okay, good luck to you. Daniel says, this Natasha safe, please, is her middle name blackmailer, liar, and husband snatcher? How did she find her way to the Senate, for God's sake? Stanley Jasper White says, please expose Akpabio the more. Even those things Natasha don't say, expose them, game on. Prince Okagbare says, who's asked you for this help? When did Natasha accuse Senate President for murder? Be careful. I think that, this accusation did not even emanate from Natasha herself. It emanated from Dr. Duru saying that was the next point of action for Natasha, saying that the sexual harassment allegation wasn't sticking. So I do not think that it was Natasha that, came out publicly to accuse the Senate President of organ harvesting. Kelstar says, you should sue Ngbeke to provide evidence that Natasha said so. Natasha never said so and she denied it. It's all a twist by Ngbeke. Are you the one that was accused, or Akpabio? Are you suing on behalf of Akpabio? What is your relationship with Akpabio for you to sue on behalf of him? Marvelous Wilson says, wow, going deeper can expose a can of worms. This is a grave allegation, but who do we believe? Adeyemo Sunday says, your lawsuit should not be in millions, but in billions, from 250 billions upwards. She too never gets in millions, but in billions. I don't understand that. Okay, moving on. Glory says, and all this is coming to light after one joker in the US called something Ngbeke started a crusade against Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan. We dey here will continue. Let's have your thoughts and opinions in the comment section. Thank you very much for always listening and watching. I will see you in my next video. Bye for now.